Hello everybody! In today's video we have done a weird thing to an SLS, and we've done a weird thing also to a Starship. We've like switcherooed them, and Super Heavy looks like an SLS core stage now, and Starship is on top of a normal SLS, and it's all weird and stuff. So yeah, we're going to be sending both of these vehicles onto some missions to Duna and to the NASA Lunar Gateway Station. We're like doing the purpose and stuff, like Artemis and Starship. It's going to be awesome. And we're going to be starting off our video with the launch of the, I don't know what to call this thing, Starship. We'll call it the Starship top thing, right? Whatever this monstrosity is, but it's the Starship on top of the SLS. We're going to be switching between the two missions throughout the course of this video, so we're going to be like jumping in between. It's going to be super epic and awesome, like parallel storylines going on here. It's like another level of cinematic epicness. So there we go. Here go SRBs. Apologize that the Starship doesn't like perfectly fit on top of my SLS. You know, I just hit the merge button in the vehicle assembly building, and that's kind of the size they end up. Actually, in real life, the Starship is ever so slightly wider than the SLS core stage. So, oh my gosh, unrealistic, dislike, worst video ever. Oh my gosh. So we have separated boosters because a Starship is much heavier than the normal payload the SLS is accustomed to. It cannot get us all the way into orbit. It actually has to pitch quite steeply so it doesn't fall back down to Kerbin. So SLS core stage will separate, and then it'll just be Starship left over to get its way into orbit. It'll fire all 6 of its engines initially, then pretty quickly turning off the 3 sea-level engines once they have given the thrust that they need to help it get into an orbit. So there it goes. It's going to basically on our home stretch on our way to orbit, and then we can get ready to switch over to the other thing, the SLS Super Heavy thingy-mabob, or the Orion. It's like an Orion on top of a Super Heavy with like the integrated cryogenic propulsion stage, which is what they're going to be using on the Block 1 of the SLS. So just about to finish the initial burn with the vacuum engines, and there it goes. And now we are going to quickly coast on up to our apoapse, and then we'll fire up the engines one more time to get fully circularized, and then we'll switch over to the other vehicular. So the Starship will obviously, I don't know, obviously, but it will be doing a normal Starship launch payload mission profile. It's going to be going to Duna, and then once Super Heavy helps boost the SLS, or the Orion, it will be going to the Gateway Station, and there it is. And this mission was, this one was more challenging, a lot more challenging, as you'll see in a bit, but we're going to get the time-lapse going, and this looks just so wrong. Like, it's Super Heavy, but, you know, it has, like, the tapered bit, you know, like how SLS is. It's just wrong, mate. Like, I don't know what to say. So the way the SLS Block 1 works in real life is the core stage will get it fired up to an elliptical trajectory up to around super high apoapse, but the periapse is still in the atmosphere. So and then the interim cryogenic propulsion stage will circularize, well, not circularize, but raise the periapse out of the atmosphere. So that's what we have to do. But unfortunately, normally the SLS has SRBs, so we're basically doing this without any SRBs. Granted, the Super Heavy is slightly bigger than the core stage of the SLS. Not that much though, so we have to go for a super steep ascent with our vehicle, and there we go, deploying the Super Heavy in quite epic faring stuff. So we are going to be landing the Super Heavy. So we did put ourselves in that nice elliptical trajectory, and the upper stage is going to get us into an orbit. We're going to use a little bit more performance out of the upper stage than normal because of the steep ascent profile, because Super Heavy is really strapped for fuel in this, or Delta V in this mission. We are trying to recover Super Heavy. We're not going to be able to do any boost back burns or anything, but stay tuned to see the kind of janky landing we do. Oh my gosh, guys, viewer attention, right? As we are now going to switch over to Starship, which is going to do its Trans-Duna injection, which will get it down, of course, out to Duna. By the way, I think it's a great time to do the plugs. If you are enjoying the video, you could smash the, subscribe button. That's one of the ones, and the like button, and the comment button. And the Discord join button, and the Patreon button. You can become a channel member. That's another thing you can do. That involves me getting money too. So I don't know. You could do some of those things. Thank you. Thank you though, guys. You're getting pretty close to 10k subs, so I'm pretty hyped about that. I'm also pretty hyped about this booster thing that we're going to do. As you can see, I have some extra fuel tanks that I put in like the little tapered bit to give us a little bit of extra performance. This thing comes in really quick, really hot, and we have to do like a tiny little entry burn. All that does is like barely saves us from melting, and you can see we have just about 400 meters a second of Delta V left to do our final landing burn, which at the rate we're coming in, those grid fins are not going to slow us down quick enough just because of how fast, because of how steep we came in. So we kind of have to YOLO this. We relayed at 1 kilometer, we pull like a bajillion G's, there we go. And it just about slows down, and then we're a little bit above the ground. We have like no fuel and out of fuel. Ooh, blah, blah, blah. There we go. Oh gosh. Grid fins, oof. I mean, you know, the landing legs kind of took the brunt of that. And the grid fins really saved us. That's really, yeah, that was a doozy, wasn't it? Yeah, that was really the best. The only other way to do is like to perfectly time the hover slam, and that's just not a thing. And the hill was the slope was kind of slopey, so very janky recovery, but like 95% of Super 8 was there. The important part, the engines and the fuel tanks survived. So. Recoverability, reusability, yes. Oh my gosh, I'm like, the video's ahead of me. We're landing on Duna, by the way, with Starship, so evacuate the fins. We're coming in for our belly flop. We're going to point radial out in the orbital mode for basically our whole descent, because that puts us in basically a really good spot to help us scrub off as much speed as possible. Now we have these 6 engines ignited right now. We're not ignited, but turned on, and then we will be using all 6 of them for the landing burn once we descend below about 1 kilometer. There we go, drop it into 1 time speed, and there go all 6. We're going to quickly turn off the vacuum engines and then 2 of the sea level engines, so we can just land on the thrust of 1 sea level engine. There you go, because you do not need a lot of thrust to land on Duna, because, you know, we're not very heavy because we have most of our fuel gone, and Duna does not have a lot of gravity. So yeah, just using the thrust of 1 engine to come down. And now hopefully coming in for a nice little landing. We have the landing legs deployed. And we are now just a few meters off the surface of Duna. Look at this, coming in. Epic landing, and touchdown. There it goes. So that is the Starship down. And now we can, without waiting, crossfade over to our SLS, which is now going to be doing its Trans-Lunar injection. Yes, I know where I'm going in this mission. And then it is going to be docking with the gateway station, and then is going to be meeting up with one of the landers, which is going to be sending it down to the surface, sending some crew down to the surface of the Mun, which is very much wow. So while we sit here and do our amazing docking, I know docking is like the most amazing thing. You guys would love to see me do rendezvous and maneuver nodes all day. I'm sure that's the most entertaining, totally most entertaining content. But what could we do? I know, we could do a water review. Yes, cue the music. Water review. Here we go. Water review. If you don't know, you know, like Matt Lown does whiskey reviews. So a few weeks ago, I started doing water reviews just for the memes. And today's water is the San Pellegrino carbonated mineral water. Bottled water. It is amazing. It is actually has a unique distinction of being the only bottled water to be green. The bottle to be green. I don't know why they decided to make the bottle green. I don't understand that, but it's unique. I have never had it before, so I really don't know. I have no opinions on it. I don't really drink sparkling water or or mineral water. I satisfy none of the criteria, so it gets an F. Because I don't drink it, therefore it's got to be bad. Because if it were to be good, then I would drink it, right? So because I don't drink it, therefore that means it's bad. So, water review, yes, best series on YouTube. I guess like mini series, but here it goes. Here comes the docking. There's docking with the gateway station, and now we can crossfade over to Starship launch off of Duna. It has been refueled on the surface, and it is now ready to head back into orbit. It is igniting all 6 engines as it lifts off the surface of the red planet. Look at that adjective usage, I guess. And then it's going to quickly turn off the 3 sea level engines not that long after it gets in the air, once they provided the help that they can give. And now it is going to be time for us to burn the 3 vacuum engines, as we have now gone through the thickest parts of the atmosphere. It's basically time to just fly flat as we can push ourselves the rest of the way into the orbit, and then we can bring her back in for epic landing. Oh my gosh, guys, where are we going to land this time? I don't know, I'm starting to run out of places to land the Starship. Like, we've been landed on the vehicle assembly building, we've landed on the launch pad, we've landed on the tracking station. Oh, and we landed somewhere in today's video, so oh my gosh, stay tuned and hit the subscribe button, subscribe button. Plugs. Can never do enough plugs. So, heading on up to the Appalapsli. And we can fire up the engines and quickly go ahead and circularize the circularize the Starship, and then it's going to be time to crossfade over and back to the Orion Gateway situation here, where it has just deployed the national team lander, the Jeff Who lander. Oh my gosh, Jeff Who. The reason I'm using this lander is it's just the easiest. Like Lunar Starship, we already have Starship in this video, so I don't know. Kind of weird to use it again. And the Dynamics lander is hilariously hard to make. Hilariously hard to make in KSP. I tried to do it on stream once, so we sitting for like 2 hours and it like barely worked. So, the Jeff Who lander, that's the one we're using. So, I noticed this while I was coming in for landing. I'm like, hey, there's like a flag planter over here. I guess I should go land over here. What is going on here? I go and do some investigative journalisming, and I figured out, hey, it was just a place that I planted before, and it was actually the discarded descent stage of the national team lander. So I guess we'll just start a collection over here of Jeff Who landers. As we bring it in for a landing. I built this craft a long time ago, like back in October, or even, I think it was October or late September I made this lander, and oh boy, did I not think when I was making it, because the landing legs don't even extend to the... I should probably look into that, but I probably won't, and I'll probably use it in a video again and forget to fix it. But either way, Starship now is going to plan its return burn to Kerbin. Kind of started at a really elliptical orbit. I did my orbital insertion burn and then just kept burning, and I forgot that I was supposed to stop burning, so I accidentally got my apoapse to 500 kilometers. So that was a bit of an oopsie, but there is our return burn done, and Starship can head back to Kerbin, and the lander can head back to the gateway station. There you go, and the ascent stage is jettisoned, and the ascent stage engine has been ignited, and now it is going to gonna start heading up to orbit. Now we are basically launching directly on the South Pole, so this is some kind of weird stuff that's going on. Yeah, look at all there's like a bunch of munholes there. It's like Mohole has one, but there's like 15 munholes right there. I didn't even know those were a thing. They're not quite as big or cool as a Mohole, but they're in existence. So there we go. All right, who's ready for more docking? More docking. Who's ready for some more docking? I don't know, maybe I should I don't have any more waters to review to get. It's getting to the point where it's starting hard to find more brands of bottled water to review for you guys. Like, there are not that many. There's like the Nestle brand, there's the Coke brand, there's the Pepsi brand, and and there's not that many others. So hopefully we don't run out of bottled water. We can't end the water review. That'd be terrible. Maybe we'll have to like review tap water, or like go around running around trying to find like drinking fountains and crap. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to find some pretty exotic bottled waters that no one's heard of. Maybe I'll have to start inventing my own. I don't know. Just use my spit there. Okay, so here comes the ascent stage of the lander, which is now just about ready to redock. This is the gateway station. A little bit of docking port shenanigans there as it like goes up and down and left and right and blop 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 blop. And eventually, it does dock. It does make its way together because the magnets on the docking port's very, very strong. So there it is docked, and now we can transfer our view back to Starship, which is now, because I have a little bit of extra delta V, I decided to fully circularize the thing without using any aerobraking because it is easier to do that way, and it's just easier. It takes just less effort because I don't have to worry about, okay, let's try not to melt, let's try to pitch right so we can get our apoapse low, but not too low, but not too high, so it's just easier to do that way, and makes it easier for us to accurately target the KSC for our landing today. So we're going to start the deorbit burn with Starship, crossfade over, oh my gosh. So we have to show some love for these guys as they can do their landing burn, and then don't worry, we'll switch back to Starship to do its landing burn in just a minute or two. So we're going to go ahead and do our deorbit burn with the thing. And here's a pro tip, guys. Your deorbit burn is looking good when your trajectory towards Kerbin is a straight line. You don't want any sort of bendiness. Just directly, no circular, no ovalness, just no roundness, actually, just straight line down. That is how you know you are doing good. That is how you know you're on the right track to come in for a good landing. Pro tip there, guys. So, there we go, coming in basically right on the day-night break, which is kind of cool. So, I'm going to go ahead and separate the Orion service module from the command module. And now it is time to come in for a very, very toasty GE, really not very comfortable descent, but at least it was quick. So here we go, coming down and deploy the parachute last second as per usual here at Piolet Studios. And there it goes jettison the heat shield, and now we can bring in Orion for a nice Zittel landing. And splashdown! Awesome! So, now that they are down, it is time for Starship to do its little deorbiting, its little deorbiting. It is coming back to the KSP, and I'm going to be landing today on the helipad on top of the administrative building. So yeah, that's a new one, kind of. I landed there once on stream, but I mean, who watches those anywhere? They're not where most of my revenue comes from or anything. It's actually, my revenue is like basically 50-50 from donations and ads, so I don't know. It's really 50. I guess if you add in the YouTube premium revenue I get, then it's a little bit more skewed towards like non-donations, but I don't know. I don't know. Well, I mean, I do know that's the statistics, but here we go. Coming in, I don't know why I'm talking about that, because we are now coming in on our belly flop here. We came in like a really weird approach here. They came to the left, and then it's like to the right. We're like doing circly patterns, because then we overshot it again, so we have to turn it around again. It's like, blah, 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 blah. Here we go now, though. We are finally on track for a landing on top. I think that's the administrative building. It'd be a bit of a meme if I got that wrong, but here we go. Almost like flying past it again, but there we go. We're looking good now, getting ready for a triple engine relight in just a moment or two. We are now below 1 kilometer. Here come the lag spikes. Lag spikes. Great time for lag spikes. There, 1, 2, 3 engines. 3 engines on. There is the flip maneuver. I'm going to deselect down to 1 engine for today's landing just because I want to. And here it is coming down, dropping the landing legs. And now we are looking good right on top of the helipad, like so. And touchdown. There we go. Touchdown. We made it. Welcome down. I actually don't know what we really will use for Starship, 1 or 2 engines, because they're conflicting stuff. I mean, like, on the SN11 webcast, John Innsbrucker said 1 engine, but on Twitter, Elon said 2, but that was like weeks ago, so who knows? Anyway, this is all a picture of all the channel members. If you would like to become a member, you can hit the join button. Here is all the Patreons. If you would like to pick up Patreon, you can do that. There's a link in the description and all stuff. Thank you to all you guys, all the members and Patreons. You guys are awesome. That's going to get us to the end of today's video. So thank you for watching. Until next time, please try to comment through the video once again. Thank you for watching. Until next time, and bye.